Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fresno Greeks podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Gallagher-Lovell, and I'm here joined today by two brothers from Nu Alpha Kappa fraternity Incorporated. Guys, you want to say a little bit about yourselves?
You go first.
All right. So my name is Roberto de la Barriga. I'm a sophomore right now. I'm going to my third year. I'm a criminology law enforcement major, and yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. My name is Lisandro Gomez. I'm a junior currently. We both crossed fall 22. I'm a history major. I'm from Fresno. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, very nice. So first starting off, how did you guys meet each other? Was it through Nu Alpha Kappa? Did you guys know each other beforehand? How did you guys meet each other?
So, well, we didn't really meet each other till our pledging process.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, we attended different socials.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the opportunity to meet each other before. But yeah, we met through Nu Alpha Kappa.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Before I actually joined Nu Alpha Kappa, it was I was just here in school, just going by the day, going to class, and then I started joining, and then I met these new guys you just get thrown with, and then that's where I met Lisandro and every other of my line bro.
That's very nice. So, as people coming from different backgrounds, what were your initial perceptions of Greek life coming into Fresno State?
Well, for me, since I'm a first gen,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have anybody in my family or in my circle to ask any college related questions. So Greek life was really new to me, and I didn't really get a glimpse into it to the movie Neighbors.
Oh.
So, that was
I get that.
That was my first glimpse into something Greek related. Yeah.
Yeah, so also the same thing. I'm a first gen, so as the oldest, you just go into college without knowing what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
And for Greek life, when you think about Greek life, I always think about so first, there's a lot of movies around there, but I'm also thinking about the movie Project X.
Yeah.
With the house parties, and also I don't know if it's a little funny, but also Monsters University.
Oh yeah.
Where they have their own organization and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a different stigma. You see it portrayed differently in the movies. They really emphasize on different stuff right there.
Yeah. I feel it's been given a really bad reputation.
Yeah.
And I feel you would have to actually join and be part of it to get a different perspective on things.
Because when you think of the word frat,
Yeah.
first instance you think oh, it's a bad idea, a frat. What do you mean? And then but once you join, once you see everything, you start realizing it's a whole lot different than the movies.
Yeah. I get that. So, as two people that got their initial perceptions of Greek life from media and different outlets like that, were you surprised to learn about multicultural fraternities? Did you know they existed, or was your kind of perception of fraternity life to be these big kind of frats with houses and stuff like that? Were you surprised to learn about multicultural Greek orgs?
So my story is a little bit unique. So I graduated 2020. So I spent my whole first year online, and in high school I was pretty involved with sports and clubs and just stuff on campus. So once it came around to my sophomore year, that's when campus opened back up.
Yeah.
I started browsing through Engage, and I was just scrolling, and then I seen Nu Alpha Kappa, and then I was reading their bio, and it was all Latino based multicultural fraternity, and then I was like this is definitely something different. And after that I just never followed up with it, because that was a year before I decided to rush Nu Alpha Kappa. But yeah, I think it doesn't get the same level of attention as other fraternities.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because so my freshman year, I wasn't really focusing on too much getting engaged, but then my sophomore year I realized I'd start being out there and being involved in my college. When I heard about the term that there's multicultural frats, I was kind of surprised, because before you see all the social media you see us portrayed more like the bigger nationwide frats. And then I was surprised when I heard that there's multicultural ones, and like Nu Alpha Kappa is also Latino, Latino-based, multicultural, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. I want to check it out, and I want cause I love my culture, so and I want to get like closer to it and everything, and joining a Latino culture-based, it was like I want to see what's gonna happen, what's gonna go down, in that term of way.
Yeah, I feel like it was the same thing for me. Like, I spent, like, my whole sophomore year when we were back on campus, just, like, going to school and going back home. And it just, like, got, like, super repetitive and, like, boring. So then I just, like, set a goal for myself that my junior year I wanted to be involved in something on campus. So I took a look into multicultural fraternities.
Because it kind of got stale, like, just going to school, going home, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. So you just decided, I want to, like, join a club, I'll join, like, organization. Because my thoughts were, like, joining a club, but I kind of want to do a lot more, like, get involved also with my community, of, like, Fresno and everything, and, community service, and then that's why I was looking more of, like, a fraternity type way.
I understand that. And so for Nu Alpha Kappa specifically, do you remember, obviously Lisandro touched on it a little bit before, but do you remember the first time learning about Nu Alpha Kappa? Do you remember the first impression some of the brothers might have given you when they first reached out to you?
So, like, my story was I met one of our brothers through a class, and I just seen him wearing one of our polos, and I just like seen our logo, and I just asked him, I was like, hey bro, like, what is that? And then he was like, oh, it's my fraternity. And then he just told me like a little bit about it, and then like over that was like spring 21 or no, spring 22. Yeah. So he was just like showing me like what Nu Alpha Kappa was. But yeah, it was through one of our brothers from a class that really introduced me to Nu Alpha Kappa, and then through him I just like started to meet some of the other brothers.
So mine was on the day of that rush week when so I was interested, like, as soon as I started, fall 2022, I was like, I want to get involved, I want to join out. So I was like looking through different orgs, and then somehow Nu Alpha Kappa like caught my eye. And then I have to give a shout out to Alexander and Tito, because they're the ones at the they were the ones at the booth right there. They gave me all the information, and like as soon as I started talking to them, I was like, oh, these guys are cool. Like these guys give off like a good vibe and stuff like that. Like I feel really comfortable if I were like to join these guys. And then they were also giving me like their mission and then like their values and everything. I was like, it sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, I think that was the same thing for me. Like before, like I would walk in front of like some of the other fraternities, and they would just like let me walk by. But like once I got to meet like some of the other brothers, like Tito, he really like tried to like get to know me, like asked like who I was, what was my major, and like my goals. And then I think like seeing like how some of the brothers portrayed themselves really like caught my eye, to seeing like, oh, these guys are pretty serious about school, because I mean we really like pride ourselves with academics as well.
Yeah, I know, like those first impressions were everything in that moment. Like you want to talk to them, make them feel at home. It's like first impressions are pretty big. Yeah. And you're gonna be getting new people and everything.
I understand that. And so, having had that good first impression, going to socials, attending the informationals, and the different events like that, after meeting a lot of the other brothers, I know Lisandro talked about it a little bit, what stood out to you in particular about the organization? Now, obviously, they made a good first impression, everything like that. But what decided to stay and piqued your interest enough to begin their process?
Well, my bro that ended up becoming my big, he was like really like not like forcing me, but he was like, hey bro, you're gonna come out, you're gonna come rush. And then it was mostly like, he's like, just give it a chance. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I haven't really found anything on campus that's really like piqued my interest. So, I mean, I ended up attending a barbecue where a lot of alumni came out, and I feel like I had like a lot of really good conversations with them, and just being able to like talked to some of the active bros at that point, and then a lot of the alumni, and then just like getting, well, like some of our bros telling us all, like once you graduate, we have a lot of brothers in a lot of different fields, so they could be a really good resource in the future. And I think I really wanted to build a network as well, to like just for whatever in the future.
Yeah, because also with Andres too.
Yeah.
I remember we had like a volleyball social night.
Oh yeah.
And then he was talking to me about like he was talking to me about his experience with Nu Alpha Kappa. And then he was also telling about like the futures, the same with Lisandro, about how like everybody's all together. And then we also emphasized on putting like our men 2 steps forward. And the way I saw them get along with the volleyball, I felt like a place from home, because I had to do like a whole commute back to Madeira, and it felt like also having friends here and with Nu Alpha Kappa. It felt like home away from home basically. Yeah, with these guys.
Yeah, I get that. So obviously we can't talk about processes here, but a common phenomenon that happens when anyone is going through the process of any work is that the first people you form real deep bonds and connections with is usually your line siblings. However, after becoming a full-fledged member of Nu Alpha Kappa, at what point did you start to see the brotherhood and you're like, you know what, the brotherhood is more than just your line bros, more than just the active house, this runs organizational deep?
Oh man.
Well, I think like as a line, we were pretty close.
Yeah, we were.
Like we would always like hit each other up, especially like early on in the semester where everybody's pretty available and it doesn't get like too serious. Like we get lunch together and stuff. And I think when I noticed that the brotherhood like runs deep is we have a brother from another chapter, and he's in a field that education field.
Oh yeah.
And he was just like showing me like a bunch of job opportunities, and then I was like, man, this dude barely met me and he's already putting me on a lot of resources. So I feel like that was like an example of like him like not knowing me yet but still like helping me out.
Yeah, because like at first you're thrown in with hella guys. You're just thrown in with hella guys that you don't even know. Like,
yeah, no, I get that.
What if they're like serial killers or something like that? And then so you're just thrown in with random guys, and then the longer you guys are together, the more you start to realize like, oh, these are pretty cool guys. I like hanging out with them. And yeah, like the brotherhood runs deep. Like I noticed that because it also happened with the same scenario with me.
Yeah.
Because I was also talking to another bro who like is a whole alumni. He graduated like long years ago, and he was also part of the criminology field. He was because I think he's a whole sheriff and everything. And then even though like he hasn't met me in person.
Yeah.
I got to talk to him over the phone, and he was telling me about like his experiences, and it was sounding pretty nice. It sounded pretty fun, and he just gave me also motivation to just like keep going with Nu Alpha Kappa, and then like how after all these years, like they still get along together and everything after years of graduation.
Yeah, I think another really big one for me was like the majority of us are first generation students. Yeah. So I feel like we all like have already that similarity right off the bat of like coming from very similar backgrounds.
It's like not the same as having a job. It's more of like everybody's all comrades with each other.
Yeah.
Like they're all brothers. Like, and then you realize like, oh man, I got brothers instead of friends. Like brothers instead of friends. Like these guys are way close and everything. It's like then you realize like, you get like a happy feeling.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. So with just over a week left of school, obviously left in the semester, you now have your time as Neos is coming to an end. How has the current active house and the brothers that you just gained helped you develop in your first semester? How do you think you guys have developed personally through the fraternity in your first semester?
Well, I think I've developed for sure because I got voted in to be a sergeant of arms, so it's pretty much like an executive position, and like I've gotten a lot of help and like mentorship from a lot of our older active bros, and I feel like they've really like helped me they've like showed me the ropes of like how to be a leader in our organization.
Yeah, because in a fraternity, my bad. You realize like you get more responsibilities like that you don't realize that you get, and then that makes you build yourself as a character, and then builds you also your morals and everything, and then you start thinking like, damn, I got responsibilities to do, while also balancing school, and then like you start finding like a whole, you also start learning how to do like balance with school, your fraternity, and then like other community service objectives too, like everything else you get involved with. So I realized like it does build like a lot of how to say it, moral character within yourself, and it's like good for personal development. And then it just makes you think. I feel from when I started, I feel like I got a little more mature.
Oh yeah.
Because before, like I was still like a little immature, but now that like all these tasks that are going on, I feel like more of a leadership base and everything. You get more leadership traits and so like that.
Yeah, that sounds great. So with now a semester under your belt in your development, how ready do you guys feel about going into fall, going into probably your next process, getting the next line of Nu Alpha Kappas ready?
Oh man, I'm ready.
Yeah, I feel like we've developed really good this semester, and I feel like we all have a really good relationship with our alumni. So I feel like if we ever need anything, we could reach out to alumni and they could help us out. Like it could just be like something small, like giving us advice.
Look at that.
Yeah, so SFNGs, I think this semester was really good to like build a foundation and like the whole Nu Alpha Kappa, because it's our first semester, so we're like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And now that we like almost ending the semester already, we see all these things that they're like helping us with, mentoring us, and then at this point we have an idea of like now what's next, what do we do next? Let's see how like set up a whole schedule and everything. Yeah. And yeah, we're ready for next semester to see what it's gonna bring us, like with a new line and everything.
Sounds good. So of course, as brothers and brotherhood, you tend to spend a lot of time together. You guys are developing your bonds and everything like that.
Yeah.
What have been some of your favorite or more fun or memorable experiences with your brothers so far?
Well, I think definitely like smaller things. Like recently we had a barbecue, like just like a little kickback.
Yeah.
I feel like those times like really like bring you close together, like just like talking about like different stuff, because I mean it really comes down to like seeing your brothers like out of school, because that's like the time where you guys could bond even more.
That's true, because like you don't gotta worry about anything.
Yeah.
You just enjoying your carne asada, and then just eating up, talking with the bros. Like it's like you just clear your mind of everything. One memory has to be at the beginning when we had like a crossover event.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty fun with the bros. It was like, you have fun. You forget about all the stuff that happened, like all the stressful stuff that's happening with school and everything like that. You forget all your problems, and then it was pretty fun hanging out with the bros and like different events, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that. So specifically, in terms of being out with the bros and going out and doing stuff like that, are there any experiences that you guys have had at maybe a party or a get-together, stuff like that? I know you guys throw one of the most successful parties in the council, usually in ecology.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that? Were you guys part of the planning for that? Did you attend the event? How did that go?
Well, we weren't, or at least I wasn't part of the committee, but we all definitely played a role. Yeah. Like either like just selling tickets or just like communicating as a whole.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And then you remember that crossover party?
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem with having a field outside of your crossover party is that some bros start running away, and then and they just start randomly running away into the field. So that's one of my favorite parts that was happening during that party. I feel like we had to chase after some bros like a wild goose hunt. And then you also have to check up on your bros too at the parties to make sure they're all okay. And then like the funny part was that it was all crowded, and then so there was like not a lot of space to move, so you have to play like a whole scavenger hunt with your bro. You find someone like just chilling in a chair and everything. And then also about psychology, there's always like ways to improve it. Because I think this semester we threw it, I think it was like on a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And then we're just seeing like what we could work on to also like improve it for next semester or next year, my bad. And we always like look out for new ways. And this time it was like kind of experimental because it was on a new venue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like a really big venue, and it was a pretty nice venue. But I think we might like change the day or something to somewhere where like almost everybody's more available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nacology was cool.
Yeah.
I like one thing I like about our org is that we usually have a lot of brothers from other chapters like come down to our events.
Yeah.
Like for Nacology, we had bros from SAC come all the way down, or our crossover party we had bros from Slow come down, and I feel like not like our brotherhood just doesn't run deep here in Fresno at Fresno State, but like also in other chapters. Like if we invite them and they could come, they come through.
Yeah, also with like student Stanislaus.
Yeah,
they were just coming through, and because they also invited us to their things, and we also like are willing to go over there too. Yeah, cause my mom went blank right now, but yeah, we got like most of the bros went down to Nacology. We're also gonna do summer vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, summer vibes coming up too, so it's like a summer version of Nacology, but we're planning on it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. So, as an organization that does quite a few big events, not only Nacology and Party Sense, but also doing West Arena, doing NACLAN, things like that, you guys obviously have a big presence here on campus at Fresno State. Coming into your next year, where you guys are not neos anymore, you're more responsible, you're going into your first year, and third semester as actives. Are you ready and are you excited to help plan for these events that have been a mainstay at Fresno State?
Yeah, I feel like we're ready.
Yeah.
You know. I think everything has room for improvement, like just like being able to reflect on past events and seeing like what we could do better, and not just improving new events or not just improving previous events, but also creating new things for our organization or the community.
Yeah, because we recently had NACLAN, and it was pretty successful too. We tried it also in like a new location. We're always thinking of ways to improve.
Yeah.
And we're always thinking like, what can we do different this year? And with the new events coming out, like West Arena, they're pretty big events that are gonna happen. But we're ready to take on responsibilities because it's gonna be more of a hand. Because some of the bros are kind of graduating, so we're gonna lose not lose, but like they're moving on to better things. And yeah, so but at the same time they'll be willing to mentor us about the new events, and then that's how we could carry on the generation of the programs and everything, events going on.
Yeah. So you guys spoke about it a little bit in your first couple of answers. They're definitely an organization with a strong alumni presence on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that the strong alumni presence has led to, or definitely aided in your success here at Fresno State?
Yeah, I feel like our alumni really help us out with like NACLAN. We had a couple alumni like just come out unexpectedly and they helped us out. I feel like they're always there to help us and guide us and just give us advice like what works for them when they were active.
Yeah, because they were giving a helping hand in NACLAN. There was Memo, JC, and there was also Seth. We would all do like the popcorn, giving out popcorn, hot dogs. And honestly, I feel like the alumni presence helped us out a ton. Because I feel like sometimes some workload might be a little too much for the active bros.
Yeah.
And then what I appreciate about the Nu Alpha Kappa is that the alumni presence, they also are willing to help out, even though they're already, they had their whole career and everything, but they're still willing to help out. Yeah. If it's to come to their fraternity and everything.
That sounds great. So for the final question here, as we're approaching the time, as two bros that are now full-fledged members and everything, and you are both commuters that also spent some time at Fresno State before pledging or rushing Nu Alpha Kappa, what would be your advice to someone that may be on the fence about joining Greek life in general?
I feel like for me, since I'm a history major, there's not too many clubs to join. Yeah. So, like, I think it's definitely giving me a sense of like being involved here on campus, and I think it definitely helps improve your college experience and just being able to meet like a lot of different people, like not just your brothers in your organization like us, but like being able to meet like other Greeks like from your guys' the OD5s.
Yeah.
Like being able to like just branch out and just like talk to a lot of different people.
Yeah, like you make connections with other orgs. Like at first you just think like, oh, I'm gonna just make connections within my own org, and then like your brothers or yourself, you just make connections to other orgs, and it makes like a whole network of connections. And because I was also on the fence of joining Greek life, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm getting into, but honestly, it's an experience I'll never forget. It was pretty fun this semester and also last semester. I want to say like it feels more of a family than just having friends around you, because they're there for your support system. They help you study, like study sessions. They're gonna help you with your things going down, and like it's a good way to get involved too with community service such as Snackland, and also like doing like events, philanthropy events like the Nuestra Reina, stuff like that. And I feel like it'd be a good college experience, a really great one.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, thank you, bros, for coming on. Hope to see you and your brother soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.